Most of the multivitamins on the shelves at Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens contain synthetic forms of vitamins in doses too low to do anything measurable inside a human body. And one of the bottles I'm about to name was independently DNA tested and found to contain houseplant. Americans spend over $50 billion a year on dietary supplements. More than 150 million of us take them. 65,000 different products are sitting on store shelves right now. The price tag assumes the bottle does what the label says. Independent laboratory testing keeps proving it doesn't. Here's the part nobody tells you. Dietary supplements sold before October of 1994 don't get FDA review before they hit the shelves. Most of the bottles in your medicine cabinet have never been independently checked by anyone. Read the fine print. The federal government allowed this on purpose, so I went looking. 6 brands you should walk past, 3 that are actually worth every dollar, and one of the worth it brands costs less per usable milligram than the household name your mother takes. I spent 40 hours auditing every bottle on the shelf to find the truth, and the results were not what I expected. This entire industry runs on a single piece of legislation almost no consumer has ever heard of. It's called the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, DSHEA. The architect was Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, home to the largest concentration of supplement manufacturers in America. The law reclassified supplements as a category of food, not drugs. Read what that means. No pre-market FDA approval, no mandatory efficacy testing, no mandatory third-party verification. The FDA can only intervene after harm has been documented in real human beings, after consumers have already swallowed the pills and gotten sick. So here's the math reality. A clinically validated dose of bioavailable curcumin is roughly 500 to 1,000 milligrams. That costs the manufacturer real money, so they put 50 milligrams in. They hide it inside a joint support proprietary blend alongside cheap bulking ingredients. They charge $25 for a bottle the consumer assumes is therapeutic. The label says proprietary. The chemistry says fairy dust. This is the legal magic trick that every brand on the skip list uses. The Federal Trade Commission has caught some of them. State attorneys general have caught others. Independent laboratories have DNA tested bottles and found rice instead of ginkgo, houseplant instead of medicine, and synthetic dyes instead of nutrients. These 6 brands have either been sued, recalled, settled with the FTC, or independently lab tested and caught red-handed. Let's go through them. The skip list number 1, Centrum, Haleon / formerly Pfizer. Skip number 1, Centrum, manufactured today by Haleon, formerly Pfizer Consumer Health. The marketing line, the most recommended multivitamin brand, 22 essential vitamins and minerals. Flip the bottle, read the inactive ingredient list. DL alpha tocopherol acetate, synthetic vitamin E derived from petroleum, roughly half as biologically active as the natural form. Cyanocobalamin, a B12 molecule bonded to cyanide that your liver has to strip off before you can use it. Folic acid, not the active methylfolate form. Magnesium oxide, absorption rate roughly 4% in human studies. Then the fillers, BHT, hydrogenated palm oil, polyethylene glycol, titanium dioxide, red 40 lake, yellow 6 lake, blue 2 lake. Now the dosing reality. The magnesium content sits around 50 milligrams against an RDA of 400. At 4% absorption, the actual usable magnesium reaching your bloodstream from a single Centrum tablet is functionally 0. You're paying for a candy-coated synthetic chemistry experiment with the cheapest possible form of every nutrient on the label. Number 2, 1 a day Bayer. Skip number 2, 1 a day made by Bayer. For decades, Bayer positioned 1 a day as a complete science-backed daily multivitamin, including for years the suggestion that it could reduce a man's risk of prostate cancer. 2007, Bayer paid a $3.2 million civil fine in a consent decree with the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice over false weight loss claims for 1 a day WeightSmart. 2010, Bayer settled with the attorneys general of California, Oregon, and Illinois for $3.3 million over claims that the selenium in its men's multivitamin reduced prostate cancer risk. Here's the science Bayer ignored. A 7-year, $118 million trial funded by the National Institutes of Health, 35,000 men. The trial was halted early. Selenium did not prevent prostate cancer, and the men taking it may have developed more cases of diabetes than the placebo group. Bayer kept running the ads anyway. Number 3, GNC Herbal Plus. Skip number 3, GNC's house brand. GNC Herbal Plus, the marketing, standardized herbal extracts, ginkgo biloba, Echinacea saw Palmetto, St. John's wort, premium prices in a specialty supplement retailer that built its entire identity around quality. February of 2015, the New York Attorney General sent cease and desist letters to GNC, Target, Walmart, and Walgreens. The investigation used DNA barcoding, an unbiased, reproducible method of identifying exactly which plant species are inside a capsule. The result: overall, just 21% of test results identified DNA from the plant species printed on the labels. The rest tested as something else, or as nothing at all. Inside GNC bottles, the lab found asparagus, rice, primrose, alfalfa, allium, powdered legumes, and in the case of one ginkgo bottle, no plant DNA whatsoever. The label said ginkgo. The DNA said rice. Number 4, Spring Valley, Walmart. Skip number 4, Spring Valley, Walmart's house brand. The marketing, Walmart's affordable everyday supplement line. Vitamins, minerals, herbal extracts at the price point of a fast food meal. Same investigation. The New York Attorney General's office DNA tested Spring Valley bottles purchased at Walmart stores across the state. The result was the worst of any retailer tested. Of 90 DNA tests run on 18 bottles of Spring Valley herbal products, DNA matched the label claim 4% of the time. Walmart was the worst performer of the 4 major retailers in the entire investigation. What was actually inside the bottles? Rice, beans, pine, citrus, asparagus, primrose, wheat, dracaena, a tropical houseplant, cassava, a tropical tree root, and here's the part that should make your blood run cold. Powdered legumes and wheat showed up in bottles labeled as ginkgo and St. John's wort. Consumers with peanut, soy, or gluten allergies were unknowingly exposed. With no warning on the label, Walmart sold you a bottle of houseplant and called it medicine. Number 5, Hydroxycut, Evate Health Sciences. Skip number 5. Hydroxycut, made by Evate Health Sciences. The marketing, America's #1 selling weight loss supplement, clinically proven. Lose weight fast, no unwanted side effects. May 1st, 2009. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued a warning to consumers, stop using Hydroxycut products immediately and destroy any products still in your home. What triggered the recall? 23 reports of serious health problems, at least 1 death. The deceased was a 17-year-old boy. The injuries on the FDA's file: jaundice, elevated liver enzymes, liver damage requiring transplant evaluation, seizures, cardiovascular events, and rhabdomyolysis. Severe muscle breakdown that can cause kidney failure. Read the detail that matters. Patients reported liver injury at the doses recommended on the bottle. This was not consumer abuse. This was the product use as directed. And this was already the second recall. In 2004, an earlier ephedra-based version had been pulled after cardiovascular deaths. The bottle that promised no unwanted side effects was sending teenagers to liver transplant evaluations. Number 6, Airborne. Skip number 6. Airborne, the marketing, created by a second-grade teacher and her screenwriter husband. The bottle promised to boost your immune system to help your body combat germs, and instruct the users to take it before entering crowded, potentially germ-infested environments. Now read the fine print on the clinical trial Airborne cited for years. ABC News investigated. The trial was not conducted by a reputable pharmaceutical organization. It was a 2-man crew set up specifically to produce the trial. The Federal Trade Commission's response was direct. There is no competent and reliable scientific evidence that airborne tablets can prevent or reduce the risk of colds, sickness, or infection, or protect against germs in crowded places like airplanes, offices, or schools. The settlement, up to $30 million total. A $23.3 million class action settlement plus an additional $6.5 million in FTC consumer redress. The clinical study was 2 guys hired to produce a clinical study, the bottle test. So how do you protect yourself? 4 checks, 60 seconds. Any bottle in your kitchen? Check 1. The proprietary blend red flag. Flip the bottle to the supplement facts panel. Scan for the words proprietary blend, matrix, is complex, or formula, followed by a single milligram total. There is no legitimate scientific reason to hide individual doses. Only one reason: underdosing. Check 2. The third-party seal hunt, 3 seals matter, NSF, certified for sport. The gold standard, recognized by the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, the NFL, and Major League Baseball, USP verified. Informed sport. No seal means the brand chose not to pay for independent verification. That's the answer. Check 3. The form check. Read the chemical names. Cyanocobalamin, DIN, or methylcobalamin. folic acid, or L-methylfolate, magnesium oxide, or magnesium glycinate, the cheap form on the left, the bioavailable form on the right. Check 4, the math. Take the named active. Look at the milligrams per serving. Divide the bottle price by the total milligrams across the bottle. That's your real cost per active. The real list: number 1, Thorne, premium/NSF, certified for sport. Now the brands that are actually worth your money. Real brand number 1, Thorne, founded in 1984 by Al Chap, manufactured at a dedicated campus in Summerville, South Carolina, where Thorne owns and operates its own facility, rare in an industry built on contract manufacturers. Read what they're certified for. More than 40 NSF certified for sport products, trusted by more than 100 professional and U.S. national sports teams, including the NBA, the NFL, and the UFC. The only supplement manufacturer that collaborates with the Mayo Clinic on health research, an A rating from Australia's Therapeutic Goods Administration, widely recognized as the toughest regulatory agency in the world, 2 in-house laboratories, 4 rounds of testing on every batch, active forms across the line, methylcobalamin, methylfolate, P5P, magnesium bisglycinate. A bottle of Thorne Basic Nutrients runs roughly $35 for a 60-day supply, about 58 cents a day, per milligram of usable bioavailable active, often cheaper than Centrum. Number 2, Pure Encapsulations, practitioner grade / hypoallergenic, real brand number 2. Pure Encapsulations, founded in 1991 in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Built specifically as a practitioner grade brand, sold primarily through licensed health professionals. The original target customer was patients with sensitivities and allergies who reacted to mainstream supplement excipients. The formulation philosophy is hypoallergenic, free from wheat, gluten, nuts, eggs, artificial colors, artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners, coatings, shellacs, GMOs, unnecessary binders, active forms across their line, methylcobalamin, methylfolate, magnesium glycinate. Every product comes with a published certificate of analysis, listing identity, potency, heavy metals, microbials, and residual solvents. Manufactured in a CGMP registered facility with multiple third-party certifications. Premium pricing, typically 30 to 45% above mainstream brands, but the inactive ingredient list is often just hypoallergenic vegetable cellulose. You're paying for chemistry, not titanium dioxide. Number 3, Now Foods, the value play. Real brand number 3, the value play. Now Foods, founded in 1968 by Elwood Richard, family-owned for more than 55 years, headquartered in Bloomingdale, Illinois, manufactures the majority of its own products in its own facilities, in-house analytical laboratories, identity, potency, microbial contamination, heavy metals, lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, pesticides, solvents. Hundreds of products carry voluntary third-party certifications including UL, NPA, GMPA rating, and Informed Sport. Active forms available across the catalog for buyers who specifically choose them: methylcobalamin, P5P, magnesium glycinate, vitamin K2, MK7. Now, the price reality, the defining feature of this brand: a bottle of Now Foods magnesium glycinate runs roughly $15 for 180 tablets at 200 milligrams of elemental magnesium per serving, 1/5 to 1/3 the cost of premium competitors at the same usable dose. If Thorne is out of budget, this is the answer. Your health is not a commodity for these corporations to optimize. 6 brands to walk past: Centrum, 1 a day, GNC Herbal Plus, Spring Valley, Hydroxycut, Airborne. Each one either sued, recalled, settled with the FTC, or independently lab tested in court. 3 brands worth of money: Thorne, Pure Encapsulations, Now Foods. Each one transparent, each one third-party tested, each one paying for verification you can verify yourself. 4 checks before you swallow another pill: the proprietary blend, the third-party seal, the form, the math. The supplement industry has spent 30 years counting on you not flipping the bottle. Now you know how. The bottle tells you the truth because you have the right to know what you're swallowing. Subscribe for more.